Right then guys, the Cortina 1600, little crossflow Cortina, an absolute little sweetie. Do you know what? We were really lucky, weren't we, last sale? If you remember, we had probably the country's best Victor 101 estate, and it was, you know, we're not easily impressed here. You've got to have something quite special to get us all excited, because we've seen it all, haven't we, really? Even though every day's a school day, I will just add that. And then the Cortina's come along, and I've just done 65 photographs for you. I might as well have just done one and just put probably the best you're going to buy. There's always one better out there, isn't there? Somewhere somebody's got one. But I tell you what, you would do 10,000 miles and endless amount of diesel trying to find a better car. It's an absolute lovely machine, and I don't say that lightly. And only here by default, very sadly, and you know where I'm going with this, don't you? And we have quite a few that come along this way, which is why it is more important than ever with this crazy world that if you fancy doing something, if you fancy having one of these, or a camper van, or a boat, or a whatever, honestly guys, get yourself one, because life is not a rehearsal. I have half a dozen emails a week, predominantly from the girls who have lost husbands and partners. And don't run away with the idea that they're all 80 years old. They're not. There's just as many that are 50 and 60. And that's why this car's come here. But everywhere you look on this car, she's lovely. And an estate car, I mean, you wouldn't be quite as surprised, would you, if it was a saloon car, even though it would be very nice. But an estate car that hasn't been used as a van or a decorator's transport, you know, or a tip run car back in the day, or Labradors as we did down the beach or down the forest on a weekend, and basically used them and abused. It's just like, it's just where do you find them? So half of me obviously wishes it wasn't here because of the circumstances, of course. The other half of me is thrilled to bits to be able to bring such a cracking Cortina. This is the sort of cut to the market. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit carried away with myself. I always do when I find something really nice. I'm sorry, you can't help but get enthusiastic. Battery was a little bit low this morning, which you can understand, hasn't done much. Yeah, well, she's got 48,900 miles on the clock. You've got to make your own mind up with mileages, but tell you what, you're going to be a clever bloke to tell me that that ain't about right. Look, we've got the old jump pack here. Best on the market, these. Best on the market. So we'll just click that on there. And we'll click that on there, and we'll just fire it up. Not that there's any need, is there? Let's face it. She sounds as sweet as a nut, but I've come this far, I might as well carry on. There you go. If we say something runs well, it runs well. If we say something's got a bit of a noisy gearbox, it's got a noisy gearbox. That's how we are. But we still get people ringing in and saying, oh, the video didn't show it running. If we say it runs right, it'll run right. But there you are. Like I say, I've come this far. I might as well just put the jump pack on, seeing it's there, hadn't I? But everywhere you look on this car is lovely. So there you go, guys. If you want what is arguably probably one of the best, well, it's not arguably, it's fact, one of the best Cortina estates available today, it's there.